Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Thank you for joining us for another Shock Talk. Today, we have an amazing panel of Shocker alumni. These alumni share a couple things in common. First, they all work for Wichita State University. And second, they are all going to be honored in this year's Alumni Awards ceremony in April. Let me bring on our guests so they can tell you a little bit about themselves. Bobby Berry, Bobby Gandu, and Alicia Sanchez. I'll have you guys all talk a little bit about yourselves here. If you could just share with us your grad year, what degrees you hold, your position at WSU, and kind of what you do for the university. And let's start with Bobby Berry.
Hi, hello everybody. My name is Bobby Berry, and I'm an assistant professor in the Department of Sport Management at Wichita State. I graduated in 2011, specifically with a degree in exercise science and a minor in sport management, and then graduated in 2013 as well with a master's degree in exercise science. So specifically, my role is very layered here. Primarily, I do teach for the Department of Sport Management. In addition to, I'm a coordinator for the Workforce Leadership and Applied Learning Degree program at Wichita State. We also have an initiative out of the College of Applied Studies, specifically called the Fuse, and I am director of that particular initiative. So those are all my roles here at Wichita State. So on many committees, but once again, those are my primary areas of focus.
Awesome. Alicia?
Yes, hello. My name is Alicia Sanchez. I serve as the director in the Office of Diversity and Inclusion here at Wichita State. I graduated from the university in 2007. I had a little bit of an interesting trajectory. I stopped out for a few years, and then I came back to actually finish my undergraduate degree and have a general bachelor's degree from Wichita State, and I earned my MBA, and I'm actually also a current doctoral student in the higher education leadership program. So anticipated in 2023 to have that degree done. So just a little bit about me and the work that I do on campus.
Awesome. And Bobby Gandu.
So I graduated in 2002 with a bachelor's of business administration, and then I also completed my MBA in 2006. Right now for Wichita State, I am the director of admissions and assistant vice president for strategic enrollment management, which allows me to oversee our entire recruitment effort of undergraduate students, helping them be courted by Wichita State, help them become familiar with all that the university offers, and then hopefully select Wichita State if it's the right fit for them. And then in addition to that, I have a hat of overseeing, at least partially, the Shocker Career Accelerator, which is our organization on campus that helps our students with internship placements, help them build their LinkedIn profiles, their resumes, and much more in order to help them not only find an internship, but also hopefully post-college job placement too.
Awesome. Thank you guys all for giving us a little bit more information about you. I actually kind of want to talk a little bit more about Alumni Awards and kind of share a little bit of the recognition that each one of you is going to receive. But I want to start the chat out with talking about Bobby Berry, who's receiving the University Recognition Award. This is presented to alumni friends or faculty administrators of the university, basically those who exceed in doing some sort of service for the university or the Alumni Association. And it's obviously a great honor to have you here with us today, Bobby, but also for you to receive that award. And I'd just like to ask you what it means for you to receive the University Recognition Award.
Surprising, actually. I'm really honored, very humbled by this award. And I think what it means to me is the fact that I have been able to give back to an institution that has given so much to me personally. So it's an honor. I've been on this campus in some capacity since 2007. I work for the college that I got my degrees from. So to be able to be on the end of being a student, once sitting in these seats and now being in front of the classroom and making decisions on behalf of our students, sitting at tables that put me in a position to help move our institution forward, to be able to use some of the ideas and some of the things that make me happy to then be able to find ways to plug those into different entities on this campus. So for me, it comes full circle, and I'm truly appreciative of being able to receive this award. So I definitely want to thank the Alumni Association for choosing me as honor this year.
Awesome. And Alicia, you are going to be receiving the Young Alumni Award. And this is bestowed for service that is performed by an individual age 40 and under. And again, the just dedication and the service to the university or the Alumni Association. This is recognized. I mean, you were nominated by peers. How does it feel to just kind of be receiving that award?
Well, certainly it is an honor to be able to be named this year's Young Alumni Award. I think my time at Wichita State was fantastic, and then being able to come back and give service to the university and my role in many of the committees that I serve on, it really means a lot, especially being nominated by a peer. Someone sees something that you're doing, and certainly I don't do, like I'm sure many of our honorees do, things for the award. It's really just showing up for our students that are on campus and being able to provide that mentorship, whether formal or informal. And some of my fondest memories are some of the business courses I took, and thinking back to faculty that really helped me along the way. And so I look at it now, it's my turn to help other current WSU students. So it just really means a lot being able to reflect on my time at Wichita State as a student, and then also give back to advocate for our underrepresented diverse populations on campus.
Awesome. Well, you guys are all doing great things to receive those awards, obviously. And one other one here is Bobby Gandu. Bobby, you're receiving the Laura Cross Distinguished Service Award. This is presented to a current or retired employee of Wichita State who's given extraordinary service over an extended period of time. I have a fun fact here, Bobby. You may know that Laura Cross, she is a 1925 graduate from Fairmont College who went on to work at Wichita State for like some 70 years. You and her, as a matter of fact, both worked at least two of the same university places, one being admissions and the other is the WSU Alumni Association. So what does being honored with this award mean to you?
Well, it's a real honor to receive this award. I was really surprised and excited that Courtney Marshall called me and told me that I was going to be receiving this award. With Laura Cross being the namesake of it, it actually has special meaning for me. It's a name that I've actually heard for many years, being in the admissions profession now. The Office of Admissions, parts of it are named after her in terms of our structure. And that's true today of the Welcome Center, and also when we were over in Jardine Hall too. And so it's a name that I've been familiar with. I never had the opportunity to know, but she's revered in our profession statewide. Everyone knows that name. And so I'm really honored to be a part of that legacy because she had also the same footprint that I have now in terms of her background, both in admissions and the Alumni Association. I guess you could say I feel a real kinship to her. And so I've just been really thankful to be considered for this award and obviously to be chosen for it.
Awesome. Well, I enjoy hearing you guys share about why these things are important to you, and obviously with our other alumni. The other cool part about today is that you guys all work for Wichita State University. And so obviously you guys are all graduates of Wichita State University. So there's something about Wichita State University that has kept you guys around and has you guys giving back both your time, your talent, your treasures to our students, to our alumni, to the university as a whole. And this is kind of open to whoever wants to take it, but what is one pivotal class or maybe an experience that you had during your time at Wichita State that has had the greatest impact on you and maybe even impacts your career today?
I think for me, probably one of the most impactful moments was being able to go through my graduate program. There was specifically a class that I had. Specifically, it was a health and disease class. And I remember going through that process and understanding the magnitude and the impact that I could have on this campus and within the community as well. Originally, prior to coming to Wichita State, I did strength conditioning. I did health and wellness as kind of was my area of focus. And I think it was at that time when I was asked to lead some things independently within that particular class that I really understood my skill set. So being able to transition from doing work in physical therapy type of work and then transitioning to specifically doing strength conditioning and then ending up being an assistant professor, one of the things that I understood and the commonality between all of my areas of interest was the fact that I was able to help and make people better versions of themselves. And it was at that moment that I was able to kind of start understanding and utilizing my passions. So I think that moment was probably one of the pivotal moments for me here on this campus.
Awesome. Does anyone else have any moments that they want to share?
I remember a class with Stan Longhofer, who's still one of our business faculty members. I took real estate and finance from him. It was a topic I knew nothing about. I really just took it because it fit in my schedule. And I learned a lot about those two worlds, real estate and finance. But what actually really, the lesson I took away from that is that it was okay for me to challenge myself and be, in that case, a class that I didn't think I really would have any interest in, and I would just learn from that and be able to benefit from a subject matter that wasn't necessarily going to be a part of my future career. And it challenged me in a different way, and it made me more comfortable with the uncomfortable. And then the other thing that I think I learned from that class was I had to work really hard to get a B in that class. And I was, a complete nerd, and I wanted to get straight A's throughout my college career, and that didn't happen. And that was one of the few B's that I got. But I learned a lot from that, in the sense that it's okay to get a B every now and then, especially if you learn so much from a faculty member.
Awesome. Alicia, anything?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and jump in.
Awesome.
Again, similar to me, it's faculty. So Dottie Harpool, who taught Marketing 300, I think I remember that one class specifically and how engaging it was and how engaging she is. And I think it was that opportunity where I'm like, okay, I wasn't really sure where I wanted to go or do because I was coming back after a couple of years being out of school. And there was this fear of being a little bit older, a couple of years older than my peers in that class. But Dottie made me feel welcome, a part of the coursework. I never felt as if, because I was a little older in those classes, didn't fit. And so I just think being able to navigate with faculty and what I would call my own imposter syndrome of being in the classroom really helped me navigate. And so I just think it was that experience in her class and her willingness to support me because I was commuting back and forth from Hutchinson. So there was a lot of different layers there, but I specifically remember, going to that class that semester and the big impact that it made just to feel a connection to the university.
Awesome. So you guys all talked about moments at WSU that really impacted you. Did you guys all know that you would ultimately want to work at Wichita State University, or kind of how did you fall into your position in your career? And kind of just tell us a little bit about that and kind of maybe where you see it going or what you're excited for in the future.
I'll go first because I'm already unmuted, but I would say I had no idea that I was going to come back and work for Wichita State. When I was working on finishing my degree from the university, I was focused on insurance and real estate, and so thought that was going to be my trajectory, was working in the financial industry like that. And so taking some of those business classes was going to be very helpful. And then I had an opportunity. I started working in undergraduate admissions through Hutch Community College, was able to meet some fantastic people that helped me get connected to opportunities at the university. So I worked with Bobby Gandu in undergraduate admissions and was a multicultural assistant director. So I worked on outreach and recruiting students from diverse backgrounds, and then also got to work with our Trio Gear of Scholars. And so at that point, when I came on campus and had the opportunity to work and recruit students and also work with underrepresented students as they were navigating their first year, that all just came to light for me that, okay, I need to be able to advocate at additional tables and make sure that our underrepresented students are having the same opportunities. And so I was out on maternity leave actually, and the current job that I'm in right now was posted, and I went back and forth because it's lots of life decisions. But I obviously went ahead and applied and have been in my current role as the director for 7 years and doing advocacy work. That's always been a part of who I am, but now I get to do it and support students who are like me, that were first in their families to go to college, may not understand the cultural dynamics and barriers of coming to a college campus. And so I'm very fortunate that I get to work with students from all different backgrounds. And, if you would have asked me 10 years ago if this is where I would be, I would probably say no, because it didn't seem like this was my trajectory. And I'm not sure what's next. I mentioned I'm finishing or working on my doctoral degree. I know I would like to move up, whether that's a VP of student affairs or a dean of students. So we're still trying to figure that out yet, but I can't see myself in another industry or field. I'm very fortunate to be doing the work that I do on campus.
I think for me, no, I never ever anticipated myself in higher education. In the way I attained my role is in grad school, I was a teaching assistant. And after I graduated, I came back as an adjunct instructor. And then from there, I got a phone call and they said, hey, we have a full-time position open specifically in being manager of the human performance lab. And, I would oversee everything that goes on in there in addition to teaching a couple of classes. And so as time went on, that role just evolved. I started once again in human performance studies, and now I'm in sport management. And for me, I didn't realize the type of impact I would have on this campus until I was actually in my role. And it's rare that you see folks who look like me in front of a classroom. And so to be able to understand the power that has and the influence that has, I truly felt like I was placed in this role for a reason. Once again, this was not my intended role, but I'm loving every minute of it and the opportunities that I've been afforded and the impact that I've had the opportunity to make. I'm just really privileged for it. And I think going forward, the sky's the limit. I will be wrapping up my doctorate in educational leadership here soon within, less than 3 months. And so I'm really excited about that. And as far as goals are concerned, I mean, there's a lot of things that we're talking about now. Definitely something that allows me to do some administrative work, but still definitely to keep me in the classroom if it's something I love. And then definitely being able to expand upon my research of really exploring the impact that our folks of color, specifically Black males, are having in higher education. That's an area of research that is not highly investigated, and so I really want to be able to contribute to that value.
Very good. And Bobby Gandu?
I certainly never thought I would make working in higher education a profession. I don't know that a lot of us do, at least when we're in high school. We don't really think of there being, permanent professional positions in higher ed when you're going through high school. So that being said, I started actually as a student assistant in the Office of Admissions, and I really enjoyed that. I liked working with prospective students, and I liked working in an office setting and having access to the many things the Office of Admissions does. So that was fun for me. And then when I graduated, the Alumni Association offered me a position to work in alumni programming and working with our chapters and societies at the time. And I really enjoyed that too. But all the while, I was continuing to just work on my education. And frankly, I always thought I would just leave Wichita State behind and I would go do something in a corporate setting. Ultimately, the Office of Admissions came calling, and I had another opportunity to come back to the admissions office. And I worked as an assistant director for several years, and then ultimately was promoted to director. But I think what has really kept me in this profession is it's been a great blend for me of the things that I'm passionate about. I am very passionate about good marketing and good service and helping people find products or solutions and services that meet their needs. But then beyond that, I've come to realize that I'm actually really passionate about making sure we help low-income families, first-generation families have access to higher education. We know that college can change the trajectories of families through better access for healthcare, for job advancement, for wealth, for access to voting rights, and all the other things that are really important for people to be highly functional in society. And so this has been a great blend for me of mixing marketing and education together to help families in South Central Kansas.
Awesome. We really appreciate your guys' input on that and kind of just getting to know you guys a little bit more there. I have a couple more questions for you guys here I'd like to go over today. And I think one thing that you guys probably showcase in leaps and bounds is your passion for WSU. So what are some elements of your work that bring you the most satisfaction in your guys' careers here?
I think for me, the creative ability to I think for me the creative ability to think about opportunities I want to be able to create. So whether it's creating new classes or new programming, being able to, I launched a podcast last year that I host. I'm here with State, and so I think all these little things that I never really thought I could embed into my actual career, and just the creative ability and the creative freedom that I've been blessed with. I think that's probably been one of the most rewarding things. And not really understanding until you have those moments where you're able to sit and talk to students and you're able to hear some of the things that the students that you've done that impact the students, or some of the things that the students have brought to your attention that you've been able to address at a higher level to really make traction in those efforts. So I think those are some of the things that are probably really fulfilled me specifically about what I do.
Very cool. Alicia?
Okay, so I'm like, there's a couple of different things, certainly, but no one day, like probably many of us on our campus, is ever the same, but certainly in the diversity and inclusion world, there's always a lot going on. I have the ability to learn from different individuals, their backgrounds, their culture, their history, their identities. And so I think it's the connections and the engagements I get to have with students in our space. And certainly with COVID, it's looked very different, but being able to connect with students and help them achieve their goals and have conversations, I think it's just, it boils down to the students and being able to get to know them and to see, when we're having tough conversations about time management and balance and those types of things, when the light bulb kind of clicks for them, I think is fantastic. Or when they're willing to run in and tell me about something that's happened either academically or personally. It's all of those memories and those opportunities and moments that really make me know and confirm that I'm in the right place. And so I think it's the energy and students are the first priority, but our entire campus and community all have different touch points with our students. And so being able to do community service and being civically engaged to connect our students to other opportunities, whether it's through applied learning or through formal or informal mentorships, it's all of those different things that I think really keep my passion and keep that candle lit, if you will, and burning inside, right? So I can certainly see students when they graduate and go on. It's a combination of all of those things, I think, for me.
Yeah, just seeing the students' reactions and impact that you're having on the daily basis with them, right? I mean, it's kind of and Bobby Gandu.
For me, I think it's actually, it used to be the moment that a student decided to attend Wichita State was super meaningful for me. And of course it still is. And for a while, it was also when that student walked across the stage at their college or Wichita State graduation, because then I felt like it was mission accomplished. We helped that student achieve their bachelor's degree. But more recently, actually in the pandemic, I've become even more fulfilled watching our healthcare graduates or health professions graduates and doctors, pharmacists, et cetera. When I've seen them get their COVID vaccine actually, and they post on social media that they got it, it's just such a great reminder for me how powerful the work is that we do for those of us in higher education, that we are helping people in our society by, in this case, or at least that case, educating our health professionals. And I just feel so fulfilled when I see former students of ours getting that COVID vaccine, because it allows them to go out and do the work to take care of us.
Yeah, and you actually, that's a perfect transition to what my next question is for you guys. And COVID, it's changed everybody's work style. It's changed the way we do a lot of different things. It's been obviously a pandemic. There's a lot of bad around COVID-19. And so what I'm challenging you guys here with this question is, through all that stuff with COVID-19, what have you guys taken away as a positive from that? Because I'm sure you guys have things that are really the opposite of all the downs that we've seen with COVID-19. I'm sure you guys have some good stories or some good things to share, and I'd love to hear those. And I think our alumni would love to hear those as well. So.
I think one thing that I've noticed, especially being in the classroom, is how much students miss and actually value being in the classroom. And so for me, one of the things that I do strategically is try to figure out when you have those opportunities, ways to engage them on a more intentional level. And so I think for me, that eye-opening experience, we just kind of have this idea that if I want to be in classes, this whole notion of come to class every Tuesday, Thursday, 8 a.m. is something that they don't want to do. And realistically speaking, these kids truly value the work that takes place inside the classroom. And so that's kind of been confirmed and affirmed, if you will. And so that's one thing I've taken away. So every time I step foot in my classroom, which I'm so privileged to do, I take it just a little bit more serious, and it's increased and heightened my intentionality.
Alicia, I'll let you answer next.
Yeah, no, thank you. So I think in our world, the pandemic has taught us you can do almost anything anywhere, and you don't have to physically be together, right? But I say that because our office puts on so many different programs and events. I think the reach that we have been able to have, because a lot of our students, work, they have other responsibilities, but they can tap into a conversation that's loaded on our Facebook or YouTube channel after the fact. And so I think them being able to still see what's going on and engage in this virtual environment. Certainly it's not ideal. We'd like to be able to come together, but knowing that students are all over the world really still have the ability to connect with us. And so that's, I think, one thing. I think back to our multicultural graduation celebration that we do for our students of color the end of every semester. Because we did everything virtually and premiered a video, their families from all over the world were still able to participate and engage with them. And I received many notes and comments from friends and families that were able to celebrate with their student. And normally we wouldn't have had that opportunity. And so I think that's just one example of the reach that we are able to have with students and being able to engage differently. It's still a challenge, certainly, for everyone to be in a remote environment when we're used to coming together. But I think it's being able to find those wins and celebrate. And so certainly thinking the programs and events that we do have a larger reach because they're virtual right now.
For our office, I think we've found as many ways as possible to deliver virtual events and keep them engaging. I had to count recently, and I think we've got more than 70 virtual events in our portfolio at this point, all ranging in topic and discussions and audiences that we're trying to serve. And so, yeah, the pandemic has absolutely challenged us in new ways. It's really hard to convey the Wichita State experience to students who may not ever, at least during their college search process, have an opportunity to be on our campus. And while we're open for campus visits and allowing and embracing students to come to and experience the university, many of them, of course, can't because of maybe a distance that they have to overcome, or perhaps their health is not in a capacity for them to come to campus. So that being said, it's been a real challenge to try to sell the Wichita State experience to prospective students, even here in Wichita and all over the country. So the admissions team has had to get incredibly creative on connecting with students. And so that has ranged from those virtual events to lots of mailings, personalized mailings that we're sending to students so that Wichita State is as they're conducting their college search. And then additionally, we're trying to make sure we can try to have the students have a sense of community amongst one another. One thing that we found when we host events on campus is students get to meet potential future classmates, future roommates. And so if we don't host large events on campus, then they don't have an opportunity to meet other future shockers. And so we've tried to replicate that actually in a virtual environment where people can have a sense of community and get to know people who might be their future classmates. So we've learned a lot of things through the pandemic in terms of what we can do when we're really pressed to do so virtually. And I think there will absolutely be some things we'll continue post-pandemic virtually, but I think we'll also very much look forward to having people on our campus regularly and being able to showcase all of the great things going on.
Yeah, I echo so many things that you guys have kind of said here. It's it's really just kind of nudged us in a new direction, and it's made us embrace new things. I mean, like today here, we're all on this video, as opposed to being in person somewhere, being able to chat and stuff. And so it's just about adapting and overcoming, really. And I think the stories that you guys shared and the things that you guys see as lights at the end of the tunnel is great to share. I want to kind of just ask you guys kind of any final thoughts that you guys want to share with us today. We were kind of, a little bit of this and that today, and it really is just a chance for people to get to know our award recipients better and get to know more about you guys. And so I love everything you guys shared today, and I just want to know if you guys have any final thoughts before we sign off today.
I think, once again, since during my time here as a student and faculty member, is being able to see the growth and the transition of this institution evolving to really being more intentional. The fact that almost half of our student body are first generation students, and have a council that's dedicated to supporting and uplifting those students. The fact that we're starting to see more folks in administration who are Black and brown is another thing that we're really proud of. The fact that we're having scholarship opportunities dedicated to our underrepresented students. So just over time, the intentionality that we've had about really taking heed to those around us and those who we say that we serve, and really making efforts to truly support them. I think that's one thing that I am very proud about by working at this institution. So I think that's probably one of the good things I always want to share with the folks out there.
Thank you, Bobby.
I feel like I covered everything, but certainly for our alumni and community members that see this, I guess I have a call to action. And so if you want to engage with our undergrads in a different way and a meaningful way, more than what you might already be doing, I hope you'll connect with any three of us that are on today, because our students need the support from our alumni, and to see people that have gone through this process is pretty powerful. And so those connection opportunities. So if you're looking to give back, of course, I know it's very different in this virtual environment, but there are easy ways that you can connect with our students, just so that you can share your own personal experience of being an alum and what you do in the community. So there's no shortage of opportunities. So I would hope that you continue to engage with the Alumni Association and the university, and perhaps the three of our offices. So I thank you again for this honor, and very appreciative as well.
Thank you, Alicia.
I think I'd close with just a couple of things. First, I don't feel like I really properly expressed my gratitude earlier for this particular achievement. Back when I worked in the Alumni Association, and even when I was an undergraduate student, I was familiar with these awards, and I was just in awe at the people who won these awards. And so never did I think that I would achieve a status where I'd be in the same stratosphere as some of the people who have historically received this award, or even match the good work that people like Bobby Berry and Alicia Sanchez do for the university. So I'm just so appreciative of being selected for this award. So I just want to express my gratitude and thank you to the Alumni Association and others on the committee who were part of that decision process. And the other thing I think I would add is that I'm really grateful for my time at Wichita State. Again, I never really thought I'd be here all this time. I figured you all would have figured out a way to get rid of me at Wichita State a long time ago. But I've had a lot of great mentors and great people at the university who have looked out for me over the years and have been a real blessing to me. So just want to say thank you to all of them. Then lastly, I think I'll just close and do a shameless plug, just like Alicia Sanchez did, and tell you that for all of our viewers out there, if you have any desire to help us grow Shocker Nation, we'd love to have you be a part of that process, whether you live in Wichita or in another community where you want to help tell others about the story, your story about Wichita State and how it might be the right fit for other future students, or if you're in a place of of making decisions at your place of employment, to where you might be able to hire a student to intern alongside you and learn from you, and give our students capacity to get real world experience in their field of study, please reach out to me. I would love to connect with you further and talk about that, because we need one another to lift Wichita State even higher.
Guys, I think everything you've said today, your closing comments there, everything is so on point with the direction we want to head, and getting people involved, getting our alumni involved with our university and our different departments. I want to thank you each for joining us today and taking the time to kind of share more about yourselves and share your stories. I want to encourage everyone watching, obviously, to check out all these great awardees and their different departments and help out however you can. And I want to make sure that everyone knows that they can get more information at shockeralumni.org, or you can check in weekly here on our YouTube channel for various chats we have with alumni that include chats about their passions, their talents, or their careers. We look forward to hearing from our alumni and getting you guys all involved. We look forward to Alumni Awards in April and honoring these 3 of our 6 awardees that we'll be getting. And then I want to thank everyone for their time today. Thank you all for viewing, and we will see you on the next one. So bye, guys.